You think zoos are safe, sterile places where nature is kept behind glass and steel for your Instagram photos. But some animals never forgot what they were built to do. And when humans got too comfortable, too careless, or too stupid, the result wasn't a warning growl or a gentle swipe. It was carnage, blood, screaming witnesses, and bodies so mangled that coroners had to piece together what was left like a jigsaw puzzle made of meat. These aren't accidents. They're reminders that we never really tamed these creatures. We just locked them up and pretended we had control, until the locks failed, or until someone opened the cage themselves. November 4th, 2012, Pittsburgh Zoo. A mother wanted her 2-year-old son, Maddox Durkosh, to see the African painted dogs a little better. So she did what any reasonable parent would do when faced with warning signs, railings, and basic common sense. She lifted him over the barrier. Within seconds, the boy slipped from her grip and fell 14 feet down into the enclosure. There was a net below, sure, but it was designed to catch sunglasses and cell phones, not toddlers. Maddox hit the net, bounced like a rag doll, and dropped straight into the dirt where 11 painted dogs were waiting. They didn't hesitate. The pack surged forward as one, teeth flashing, jaws snapping, and the boy was still conscious when they tore into him. Witnesses said his mother screamed so loud it echoed across the entire zoo. She tried to jump in after him, but other visitors grabbed her and held her back while she thrashed and shrieked. Everyone standing on that platform watched the attack happen in real time. No cutaway, no commercial break. Just a small child being ripped apart by animals doing exactly what nature programmed them to do. The dogs bit into his head and neck, over and over, tearing through skin and muscle like wet paper. By the time zoo staff arrived, Maddox had suffered more than 46 wounds. His internal organs were shredded. He bled out in the dirt while a police officer fired his gun and killed one of the dogs, hoping it would scatter the pack. It didn't. The other dogs kept going. When they finally pulled what was left of the boy out, the zoo and the family immediately turned on each other. The zoo said the mother ignored the warnings. The family said the zoo's design was flawed and dangerous. Lawyers got involved. Settlements were made, and in the end, no one was charged. The viewing platform was dismantled. The painted dogs were shipped off to other zoos. The exhibit was closed forever and replaced with a cheetah enclosure, because apparently cheetahs are less likely to eat your kids if you dangle them over the railing. February 24th, 2010. SeaWorld Orlando. Dawn Bronchot had 15 years of experience working with orcas. She was respected, careful, and deeply bonded with the animals she trained. Especially Tilikum, a 12,000-pound bull orca who had already killed 2 people before Dawn ever stepped into the water with him. But SeaWorld didn't mention that part to the crowds. That day, Dawn was performing in the Dine with Shamu Show, where guests ate overpriced seafood while watching trainers splash around with giant predators. At the end of the routine, Dawn lay on a shallow ledge next to Tilikum, rubbing his head and speaking softly to him. It was all very serene, very controlled, until it wasn't. Tilikum grabbed her, not gently, not as a playful nudge. He clamped his jaws around her arm and yanked her into the water with the force of a freight train. The audience watched as the massive orca dragged her under, thrashing her around the pool like a chew toy. Staff threw nets, food, anything to distract him. They guided him through different pools, trying to separate him from Dawn's body, but Tilikum refused to let go. For 45 agonizing minutes, he kept her. Trainers and guests could only watch as she drowned. When they finally recovered her body, the autopsy revealed the full horror. Her spinal cord had been severed. Her jaw, ribs, and neck bones were shattered. Her scalp was completely torn off. Her left arm was ripped away. Her left knee was dislocated. The official cause of death was drowning, but drowning was almost a mercy compared to the blunt force trauma that came before it. Tilikum didn't just kill her, he destroyed her, and SeaWorld kept him in captivity for another 7 years, performing in shows, because apparently 3 human deaths wasn't enough to retire the whale. After Dawn's death, trainers were banned from swimming with orcas during performances. But Tilikum stayed in his tank, floating in circles, waiting for his next victim or his next meal, whichever came first. April 1996, Halliburton Forest and Wildlife Reserve, Ontario. Patricia Wyman was 24 years old and freshly hired as a wildlife biologist. It was her dream job. She loved wolves, studied them, respected them, and she believed she understood them. 4 days into her new position, she entered the wolves' 15-acre enclosure alone. The reserve prided itself on keeping the animals as wild as possible. Visitors could only observe through one-way glass. Staff were warned never to make direct contact. But Patricia stepped inside anyway. At first, the wolves kept their distance. They were shy, cautious, and used to avoiding humans. But then something shifted. The pack stood up. They moved toward her, slowly at first, then faster. They circled her, cutting off her escape routes, surrounding her like they were hunting prey. Patricia must have realized what was happening because she turned and ran. But she tripped over a fallen tree, and that single mistake sealed her fate. The alpha male hit her first, knocking her flat. The rest of the pack followed. They bit into her arms, her legs, her torso, tearing through skin and muscle with teeth designed to bring down elk and moose. She fought back, swinging her arms, trying to protect her head and neck, but the wolves weighed up to 176 pounds each, and there were too many of them. She bled out in minutes. When police arrived, the wolves were still there, guarding her body. They hadn't eaten her yet. They were just standing over her corpse, possessive and territorial. When officers tried to approach, the wolves circled them too, growling low in their throats, closing in until gunshots were fired into the air to scare them off. Experts said the pack's behavior had shifted suddenly and unpredictably, especially in the alpha male. No one knows why Patricia entered the enclosure that day when it wasn't feeding time. No one knows what she was thinking. But once she was inside, she had no way out. The wolves made sure of that. September 2015, Hamilton Zoo, New Zealand. Rosa King was a 33-year-old zookeeper cleaning the windows inside the tiger enclosure before the zoo opened. It was routine, boring, safe, except it wasn't. The enclosure housed Oz, a fully grown male Sumatran tiger. Safety protocols required that a heavy vertical slide door and 2 gates be closed and locked whenever a keeper entered the paddock. But that morning, all 3 barriers were left open. Oz had full access to Rosa, and when she stepped inside, he didn't hesitate. He attacked her with the precision and violence of an apex predator doing what apex predators do. His jaws clamped down on her neck with enough force to shatter her cervical spine. Her spinal cord was severed instantly, leaving her paralyzed and unable to fight back. His teeth sank deep into her throat, crushing soft tissue and bone. Her arms were shredded with deep gouges. Her right leg was torn open by bites and swipes. Blood poured out of her faster than her body could replace it. A visitor looking through the viewing area saw Rosa's body lying motionless on the ground and raised the alarm. By the time staff arrived, it was too late. The investigation found no mechanical failure. The gates weren't broken. The locks worked fine. Rosa had simply entered the enclosure without checking the barriers. It was human error. A simple, deadly mistake. And Oz, the tiger, was just being a tiger. He wasn't evil. He wasn't vengeful. He was just an animal that saw an opportunity and took it. The zoo didn't punish him. They didn't put him down. Because Oz didn't do anything wrong. Rosa did, and she paid for it with her life. The enclosure was redesigned. New safety measures were added. But no amount of steel and protocol can fix the fact that humans keep forgetting we're not at the top of the food chain when we're standing inside a cage with something that can kill us in seconds. We like to think we've mastered nature, that we've turned wild animals into entertainers, performers, and photo opportunities. But every so often, the mask slips, the illusion shatters, and we're reminded that these creatures don't belong in our world. They tolerate us until they don't.